So we meet again, I hope. Is anyone out there? Oh, shit. Ooh, I think I said a bad word. Is anyone out there? I think I might have messed up. Oh, good. Can you hear me? If somebody can hear me, type a message saying they can hear me because the software is kind of messed up. I'm looking at your messages to see if anybody's saying they can hear me. That's why I got on a little bit early today. Can you hear me? Oh, great. Oh, good. Thank you. Whew. I was a little bit worried there. Okay. Well, got a little bit more time to spend together here today, you guys. 2 o'clock we'll get started. We got 8 minutes to go. Yeah, I usually get on at 1:55, but I was a little bit concerned about the computer issue, so I decided to get on a little bit earlier. It seems like you guys can hear me okay. And I'm looking, it's got a different screen for me, so I'm a little bit confused. Doesn't tell me how many people are here today. I wonder why. Oh, well, I guess I'm going to have a guess. But thank you all for coming. I'll just start saying hello to some people. Let's see who's here. Okay. Well, I see Sean and Ryan and Sammy and Ryan and Alyssa and Reese and Lindsay and Ashy and Asher. Somebody's eating cheese balls today. Sarah and Emma are there today. And who else is here? Lila from New Jersey and Aiden hasn't missed a show. Jackson is here from North Carolina. Madison and Mackenzie are here, and Sandy and Stacy and Shannon and Zachary are here. Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll get started in 6 minutes. 6 minutes. Ted from Michigan is here, and Quinn and Ethan from Illinois. And let's see who else is here. Lucas is here, and Sam and Truman and Wilson and Rosie from Virginia, and Beth and Ginny, Beth Daniels. No, Ginny, Beth and Daniels. Daniels are here in Alabama. Jacob and all these other people. Boy, the messages are scrolling by so fast it's hard for me to read them. Donna and Emma and Maddie, thanks for reading my books, all of you. Thanks for coming today. It's a lovely day. Madison from Staten Island, doesn't miss a day. Okay. Zachary and Ava, Ali, Abigail from Georgia. Sammy from Long Island. And Lucy and Gabby and Brendan are here, and James and Jordan Ann and Charlotte and Michael and Christina are here. Henry from Kentucky, thank you for coming. Lydia and Henry from Texas. It's 1:55 now. We got 5 minutes to go. I wish I could, respond to every one of you, but it's just impossible because I can't see the number now, but there's hundreds of us here, and everybody's typing at the same time. And obviously, when I'm reading the story, I can't read your messages at the same time. I just have to ignore them. But Christian is here, and Amelia, and Mrs. Tyson's class from Michigan is here. Landon and Arabella, CJ, Alex, and Jake are here. Sophia, and Finian and Rafferty are here. And Aiden and Connor and Kevin and Carolyn and Annie and Harry and Nathan and Romper Room. That's right. When I was a kid, same thing. The teacher would say all the kids that she was seeing in the group, but she didn't really know the names. Josephine and Molly, Kate, Brantley, Liam and Amelia from Minnesota. Zoe is here. Ryan, Scotch Plains. Okay. Happy birthday, Ryan. And Madeline and is here. Uh, Dimfa and Ruby. That's an interesting name. Alex and Zach from Cranford. And Ben, Yale, and Nora are here. And Jack from Denville. Okay. All right. 1:57. We got 3 minutes to go. Like my new picture? The Kendrick kids are here. Okay. Medford, Oregon. Julia and Natalie from Medford, Oregon. I know Medford, Oregon. Somebody said, how do you draw such good pictures? Well, it's easy because I don't. Jim draws the pictures. I just write the words. Charlie and Finney are here, and Brandon from Baltimore, and Sage and Will from Dallas are here. The Lozano family from Arkansas, Madeline and Lindsay in Fairfax, Virginia, and Charlotte and Robert, and Ellie, Maddie from Plainville, Illinois. It's 1:58. We got 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes. That's the 2 minutes and also the shut up peace sign for those of you who are reading My Weird School. Tessa, Lila, and Elliot are here, and Lizzie. Okay. All right. Take another sip. Hi to the Rileys, Paige and Perrin, Buffalo, New York. Benton from Pennsylvania. Mom. Hey, Mom is watching with Evelyn and Patrick. Hi, Mom. Shelby and Eli are here, and Aiden. We got still 2 minutes left to go. Hello from Kieran and Amelia. Patrick and his mom. Liliana are here. Anna and Rhodia. And Maddox and Hadley and Jonathan and Isaac. Thanks for coming, everybody. I'm not going to watch The Masked Singer tonight. Sorry. Griffin and Mom are watching too. We have 1 minute to go. 1 minute before we get started. Like my shirt? Okay. All right. Get started in 1 minute. Thanks to all of you for coming. Counting down the seconds now. Okay, here we go. Now, is it time? It's go time, baby. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. My name is Dan Gutman. I am the author of the My Weird School series, and let's get to work right away with our question of the day. Our question of the day comes from Jack in Maryland, and Jack asked, how do you come up with ideas for your new books? And the answer, Jack, is that, well, for one thing, I read the newspaper every day. I watch TV. I listen to podcasts. I have 2 kids of my own who've given me lots of ideas. And I also remember what it was like to be a kid, and that gives me ideas too. And as far as the My Weird School series goes, each book starts with a person, a grown-up, the teacher, the art teacher, the this teacher, the that teacher. And I figure kids your age, you like to read about grown-ups doing dumb things. Am I right? So I just think of the dumbest things imaginable for grown-ups to do, and I write it down. And that's how I get the ideas for the My Weird School books. And Jack, thanks for asking that question. And I hope Jack and all the other Jacks out there will read Mr. Jack is a Maniac. Okay, you got to read that one, Jack. All right, let's get started with our book of the week, which is Dr. Snow Has Got to Go. We started this on Monday, and the kids learned that the school STEM scores, science, technology, engineering, and math, are way down. And so Mr. Docker, the science teacher, brings in his old college buddy, Dr. Snow, who's a famous scientist, to help bring up the school's STEM scores. And so they meet Dr. Snow, and he announces that there's going to be a science fair. And the first thing he teaches them is, well, he takes them up on the roof of the school. They climb up the stairs to the roof of the school, and he takes a bucket and he fills it with maple syrup, and he swings it around and around to show how centripetal and centrifugal force works. But unfortunately, the bucket gets loose and goes flying off the roof. So that's pretty much how we ended chapter 4. So today we're going to start on chapter 5, which is titled The Great Egg Drop Challenge. Are you ready? All right, gather around the computer, your tablet, your smartphone, your big screen TV, gather around, get your friends over here. It's time to get started with chapter 5. There was a table on the other side of the roof with a bunch of junk on it. Pieces of cloth, bubble wrap, feathers, string, straws, tape, cotton balls, rubber bands, toilet paper tubes, plastic bags, popsicle sticks, cardboard boxes, styrofoam, and a big box of honey sugar bongos. Oh, and there were also 2 cartons of eggs. That was weird. "Why is all this stuff up here?" asked Ryan. "We're going to do a science project," said the snowman. "I call it the Great Egg Drop Challenge." "We're going to eat egg drop soup?" Ryan asked. "Yum!" "No," said the snowman. "We're going to drop eggs off the roof." He was rubbing his hands together. Again, a sure sign that he's crazy. "Why is dropping eggs off the roof a science project?" asked Andrea. "Well," said the snowman, "if you drop an egg off the roof onto the sidewalk below, what do you think will happen?" "The egg will break," we all replied. "Duh." "Right," said the snowman. "The sidewalk is much harder than the egg's shell. So we need to think of a way to prevent the egg from breaking at the end of its fall." "How can we do that?" asked Alexia. "There are lots of ways," said the snowman. "Each of you is going to design a package using the things on this table to protect your egg from a fall. We'll record the results. Then we'll discuss which packages worked, which ones didn't, and why. That way you'll learn about gravity, velocity, inertia, and acceleration." I didn't know what any of that stuff meant. But it didn't matter, because throwing anything off of a roof is cool. We all got to work figuring out ways to protect our eggs. And here's a picture of a few of the kids preparing their packages to prevent the eggs from getting shattered when they hit the ground. Okay. Emily wrapped a bunch of rubber bands around her egg. "When my egg hits the sidewalk, it will bounce," she said, "but it won't break." Ryan put his egg in a little cardboard box and filled the box with feathers. "The feathers will cushion my egg," he said, "so it won't break when it hits the sidewalk." Michael put his egg inside a plastic bag and surrounded the egg with foam peanuts. "My egg will move inside the bag when it hits the sidewalk," he said, "but not enough to hit the hard surface and break." Andrea made a little parachute out of some cloth and string. Then she put her egg in a basket that hung below the parachute. "If I can make my egg fall more slowly," she said, "it won't crack when it hits the ground." Neil wrapped his egg in bubble wrap and cotton balls. Alexia put her egg inside a piece of styrofoam and taped it shut. I put my egg inside the box of honey sugar bongos. That's my favorite cereal. The cereal has so much sugar in it, you might as well pour sugar right from the sugar bowl into your mouth. "You all have such ideas," said the snowman. "I can see how some of you could become great scientists someday." "Is there a prize for the student whose egg doesn't break?" asked little Miss I Always Want to Win Something. Yes, said the snowman. You get to bring your egg home with you. Here's a picture of the rest of the guys working on their egg drop projects. What if all the eggs break? Asked Emily. Then lunch will be scrambled eggs today, said the snowman. Are you ready? Ready, we all shouted. 10, 9, 8. The snowman started counting down. You're going to learn about Newton's first and second laws. Huh? We all said, which is also huh backwards. 7, 6, 5. The snowman continued. An object at rest will remain at rest until acted on by an unbalanced force. What? 4, 3, 2, said the snowman. An object in motion continues in motion with the same speed and in the same direction unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. I had no idea what he was talking about. 1, 0. Okay, let 'em fly. Bombs away, I shouted as I threw the box of honey sugar bongos off the roof. That's when the weirdest thing in the history of the world happened. There was a thud down below, and then a scream. Eek! We all rushed over to the edge of the roof, and you'll never believe what we saw down the sidewalk in front of the school. It was Mrs. Mentry, the old lady who our school was named after. She was flat on her back. Help! She shouted. I'm under attack. Uh-oh, said the snowman. Dr. Snow and Mr. Docker went running down the stairs as fast as they could go. We all followed them. I was huffing and puffing and sweating and panting when we got down to the first floor. Then we ran out the front door of the school. Mrs. Mentry was still lying on the ground. Her eyes were closed, and she had pieces of egg all over her. Oh no, shouted Alexia. Mentry is dead. And here's a picture of Mrs. Mentry on the sidewalk. We killed her, shouted Neil. Everybody was yelling and screaming and freaking out. But Mrs. Mentry wasn't dead, and we didn't kill her. I know that for sure because after a few seconds her eyes opened. Are you okay, Mrs. Mentry? Asked Mr. Docker. No, I'm not okay, shouted Mrs. Mentry angrily. What idiot spread maple syrup all over the sidewalk? I think my leg may be broken. I was trying to teach the students about centripetal force, explained the snowman. By putting maple syrup on the sidewalk? Shouted Miss Mentry. But, said the snowman and Mr. Docker. I started giggling because they both said but, which sounds just like but, even though it only has one T. And what did you teach the students by throwing eggs off the roof? Shouted Mrs. Mentry as she removed a piece of eggshell from her face. Gravity, velocity, acceleration. Isn't there some other way to teach those things? Shouted Mrs. Mentry. I got hit in the head with a box of honey sugar bongos. Everybody looked at me because they knew I threw the box of honey sugar bongos off the roof. I was wondering what happened to my egg. If Ella Mentry's head was softer than the sidewalk, maybe my egg didn't crack when the box of honey sugar bongos landed on her. But this didn't seem like the right time to open the box and find out. Why is it that every time I come to school, I get attacked by flying food? Shouted Ella Mentry. But, said the snowman and Mr. Docker. That's it, said Mrs. Mentry. Get me out of here. I need to call my lawyer. This is the last straw. And here's a picture of Mrs. Mentry yelling at Dr. Snow. I need to call my lawyer. This is the last straw. Huh? I didn't know he ran out of straws. What did straws have to do with anything? But, I didn't donate $1 million to the school so the students could throw food at me every time I visit, Mrs. Mentry shouted. I want my money back. But, they sure say but a lot. All right, that is chapter 5. Are you guys ready for chapter 6? What's the magic word? Okay, here's chapter 6, which is titled Getting Dirt on Dr. Snow. Mrs. Mentry was really mad when all those eggs landed on her. We tried to pick the shells out of her clothes, but she was a gooey mess. I guess the yolk was on her. It looked like she was going to totally freak out. But you'll never believe who came running out of the school at that moment. It was Mr. Klutz, our principal. He has no hair at all. I mean, none. If they gave out prizes to people who have the least amount of hair, Mr. Klutz would win. I am so sorry, Mr. Klutz said to Elementary. I want my money back, she barked as she brushed more eggshells off her dress. I slipped on maple syrup and was attacked by flying eggs. Take my name off the front of the building. You owe me $1 million. You're lucky I don't sue. Now, Mrs. Mentry, said Mr. Klutz. There. Grown-ups always say now and there when they want to calm down an angry person. Nobody knows why. But I guess it must have worked because Mrs. Mentry calmed down. An ambulance came to take her to the hospital. Before it drove away, Mr. Klutz promised her that she would never get attacked by flying food again. He also invited her to be his special guest at the science fair. Please don't make us give back the $1 million, begged Mr. Klutz. We need that money. It's for the children. He was making a sad puppy dog face, so we knew he was really desperate. And here's Mr. Klutz making his puppy dog face, begging Mrs. Mentry to just forgive them for messing her up. If you're ever really desperate, just make a sad puppy dog face. Even grown-ups do it. It works every time. I'll think about it, Mrs. Mentry said. She was still mad. After that, we went inside for lunch. Everybody felt bad about what happened to Mrs. Mentry. I felt worse than anyone because I'm the one who hit her in the head with a box of honey sugar bongos. I wanted to go to Antarctica and live with the penguins. Here's a picture of kids just talking at lunch. Nobody was talking much while we ate our peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. It was quiet in the vomitorium. After lunch, we went out for recess, but nobody was in the mood to play. What do you want to do? Ryan asked. I don't know, said Michael. What do you want to do? Let's play Talk Like a Grown-Up, I suggested. Talk Like a Grown-Up is one of my favorite games. All you have to do is talk like a grown-up. So it has the perfect name. You start, AJ, said Alexia. Nice weather we're having, I said. It's lovely, said Alexia. They say it may rain on Friday. How is your lawn? Asked Neil. Mine needs watering. I want more money, I said. You're fired, said Alexia. I need to lose 10 pounds, said Ryan, and my hair is falling out. If I don't get coffee, I'll die, said Michael. Do you want to play golf? Asked Alexia. Not now, I said. I have to read the newspaper. My back hurts, said Neil. My feet hurt, said Michael. Everything hurts, said Alexia. I need to trim my nose hair, I said. Man, talking like a grown-up is boring. I hope I never grow up to be a grown-up. Little Miss Perfect and her crybaby friend Emily must have been listening because they came over to annoy us, as usual. It's not nice to make fun of grown-ups, said Andrea. You'll be a grown-up someday, Arlo. No way, I insisted. Grown-ups are weird, said Ryan. Speaking of weird grown-ups, said Alexia, what's the deal with Dr. Snow? I don't trust that guy, I said. I still say he's crazy, with that frizzy psycho hair and those crazy eyes. I think he wants to take over the world. That's ridiculous, Arlo, said Andrea. Stop trying to scare Emily. I'm scared, said Emily. Maybe he had us attack Mrs. Mentry with eggs on purpose, Alexia suggested. Did you ever think of that? Maybe it wasn't a science project at all. Yeah, I told the group. That was just the beginning of his secret plan for worldwide domination. We gotta do something, shouted Emily, and then she ran away. Dr. Snow has got to go, I said. Then I got up and started chanting. Dr. Snow has got to go. Dr. Snow has got to go. I thought everybody was going to get up and start chanting with me, but nobody got up. Nobody started chanting. I hate when that happens. AJ, if what you say is true, said Alexia, there's only one thing we can do. What's that? We've got to get some dirt on Dr. Snow, Alexia told me. Why would we want to get dirt on him, I asked. Then he'd just be covered with dirt. Andrea rolled her eyes. Alexia means we should find out some bad things that Dr. Snow did, said Andrea. Then we can blackmail him. What's blackmail? Asked Michael. That's what grown-ups do to people when they find out bad things about them, said Andrea. We should sneak around and stalk the snowman, said Neil. Maybe we can catch him red-handed doing bad things. Neil should get the Nobel Prize. That's a prize they give out to people who don't have bells. Sneaking around is cool. We snuck around the playground fence until we reached the back door of the school. Then we snuck inside like we were secret agents, hugging the walls and looking in both directions to make sure nobody was following us. We should be wearing night vision goggles, I whispered. Why? Asked Neil. It's daytime. Who cares? I replied. Night vision goggles are cool. We snuck up and down the hallways looking for the snowman, but we couldn't find him. He's probably hiding in a secret lab where he does his evil experiments, I whispered. We passed by the teacher's lounge. That's a room where no kids are allowed, but the teachers get pedicures and play ping pong all day. I peeked through the little window in the door. That's when I saw him, the snowman. He was sitting all by himself. Psst! He's in here, I whispered. Okay, what's the plan? Whispered Alexia. This is the plan, I said. Then I yanked open the door and I burst into the teacher's lounge. Freeze, dirtbag! I shouted. That's what policemen always shout on TV when they sneak up on bad guys. Nobody knows why. The snowman was completely surprised. He dropped the sandwich onto the floor. Here's a picture of AJ telling Dr. Snow, "Free, dirtbag." I love that line. Aha! I shouted. We caught you red-handed, snowman. I beg your pardon? The snowman asked. I have one question for you, I told him. Do you have any bells? I have a doorbell at my house, said the snowman. Why do you ask? Just as I suspected, I said. You can't be a real scientist. They give the Nobel Prize to scientists who don't have bells. But you have a bell, so that proves that you're not a real scientist. You're a fake, a phony. Are you kids allowed to be in the teacher's lounge? Asked Dr. Snow. Shouldn't you be at recess? Stop trying to change the subject, snowman, I barked. What are you doing in here? I was trying to eat my lunch, he replied, picking his sandwich up off the floor. Yeah, sure, I told him. That's what they all say. We know what you're up to, snowman. You planned that attack on Mrs. Mentry so you could shut down the school. It's all part of your evil plot to take over the world. What? he said. But. We all started giggling because he said but with one T. Dr. Snow was just eating his lunch, Arlo, said Andrea. Now you're being ridiculous. Maybe so, but I still didn't trust him. Neither did Alexia. I got my eye on you, Snowman, she said. That was weird. Why would you want to put your eye on somebody? That's kind of gross. Well, kids, that's the end of chapter 6. We're going to finish this book tomorrow. This is chapter 7 and 8 tomorrow. We're going to finish this book tomorrow. And on Friday, I'm going to have a special surprise for you. Ooh, I love surprises. But first, before you go, how about a joke of the day? You ready for the joke of the day? All right, here it is. Why are pirates such great singers? Why are pirates such great singers? Give up? They love to hit the high seas. All right, that's it for today, you guys. By the way, you can also, if you feel like it, tell your parents they could follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Dan Gutman Books. And until I see you tomorrow at the same time and the same place, read like crazy and wash your hands like crazy. See you guys. All right, how do I close this thing? Oh, there it is. Okay.